San Francisco Women Artists is an organization of women and men with a fascinating history that goes all the way back to the late 1800s. Today we're going to learn about that history, and we're going to learn about the organization's plans for the future. And here to tell us about all this is Azar Vagefi. Azar is the current president of the organization, and Barbara Swan is a past president, and she's going to talk to us a bit about the past. So, Barbara and Azar, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, Barbara, this organization has a unique history. Could you tell us a bit about it?
Sure. Back in 1887, a group of local San Francisco women artists got together and started a group called the Sketch Club. And they were going out to the Monterey coast and setting up their easels and painting en plein air. They didn't, prior to that, really have any way to kind of get support for the women that were in the art community.
And this was unusual because the women were going out unsupervised.
Correct. Yes, they were.
Why did the men feel they had to be supervised?
Well, you know, women at that time didn't have all of the freedoms that we enjoy today, and women that did art were not necessarily looked upon with the same credentials as men who were in the community. So these women actually did, many of them have academic art training, and so they felt that they needed to create their own group to get the kind of support that they needed to make inroads into the art community.
Yeah, do you suppose the men might have been a little intimidated by these educated, talented women going out and doing their own thing?
Could be. But by 1894, there was a local fine arts exhibit, and out of the 60 artists that participated, 28 of them were women. So it seems like forming a group like this did have some positive impact.
Right. Were women back there discouraged from competing with men in shows, in art shows?
You know, I think many of them were separate. So, you know, again, you know, they just started doing their own thing, basically, and that kind of gave them the opportunity to, you know, become more accepted in the art world.
So let's switch 100 years and talk to Azar here about the organization as it currently is. And Azar, you're just recently the president of this. How did that come to be?
Well, they called me and asked me if I accept the position. I said, obviously, and I'm honored to be the president of the organization. And I started to be.
And you have a PhD in
art. Yeah.
And you were born in Iran. Did women in Iran ever have this difficulty with being discriminated against?
Sure, yeah. This is the same, I think, in the whole world. And but right now I see a lot of art pieces and a lot of art works done by very good, talented women in Iran. Anytime I go back home, I see a lot of art shows.
All right. Now you're also a professor, and you just came back from teaching in Kansas.
Yeah. I used to teach for 2 years in Kansas.
And you're glad to be back in the Bay Area?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Now, you have some of your work here. How would you describe your work? Let's talk about this one, for example, this one back here. What is the medium here? What, acrylic or what?
This is mixed media on canvas. The name is Spiral. I use a lot of glue and different materials and papers, acid-free papers, and the combination, the final combination, looked like a spiral. Right. So this is the art piece.
And Barbara, you're a photographer.
Yes, I am.
And I see you have this piece between you and Azar, and this piece over here of the car, and this black and white here. Maybe one of the cameras can focus in on either of these, but what drew you to photography?
Well, I started traveling in the early 90s, and I took a new camera along with me and just was fascinated by the different cultures, people that I saw when I went on the road. Like this one in particular is from Venice, Venetian masks, and the black and white one is from New Zealand. So that kind of brought me interest.
Right. Now your group has how many members?
Right now we have about 90 members, I believe.
90.
Yeah, in the past we have had up to 300 in earlier days. When I joined 12 years ago, we had 250 members.
Now, San Francisco Women Artists actually has some men in it?
We do, we do. We welcome anyone who has an interest in the arts to join us. And as long as you can support our mission, which is to encourage women in the visual fine arts, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, if you're an artist or an art patron or a student. We welcome everyone to become a member. We have opportunities for everyone to learn about us.
And your artists show their work where?
We have a gallery at 3489 Sacramento Street.
San Francisco?
In San Francisco. It's near Presidio. And we have art shows there changing every month.
Right. Now, this month, what is it called this month? You have a different theme each month. What is the theme for this month? Do you remember?
Reflections, I guess.
No, Reflections is next month, I think. Yeah.
It is July.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later on in the show. But to give the audience an idea of what the gallery is like and what kind of art you have, could we see a clip of that I took a few days ago?
Hello, I'm Janice Rumba-Coddington, and I'm the gallery director for San Francisco Women Artists. And as you see on our sign, we are a historical organization for San Francisco. A group of women artists established our wonderful organization in the late 1800s. And it was, I want to show you this fantastic photograph that we have. This is a group of the women artists at that time. And our organization then was called this Sketch Club. And this was a very radical idea at the time for a group of women artists to band together and travel alone without male companionship to an outing. These are our dynamic routes, and today we continue on. We have approximately 90 members. We have a wonderful location on Sacramento Street in San Francisco, and we'd like to take you inside to look around. So here we go. Here inside the gallery, we have a fantastic June show. That's theme is summer. And I'd like to show you three pieces in particular that are absolutely wonderful. Here we have Mari Seguza's Journey Ahead. It's a monotype, bright colors, very contemporary, very playful. It was also our postcard image for the month. Next down is the wonderful landscape piece by Vera Chetkovani. You get great colors as well, wonderful build-up of textures, and a bit of an impressionistic feel to it. And then over here we have two pieces. Mr. Cepeda's work in our show for June is done in oil, and he does these marvelous street scenes of North Beach. Here we see to the pyramid building along Columbus Street, and here we have a more intimate view of one of the restaurants. Very vibrant, detailed. He has tremendous command of the medium. His work is fantastic. Here we have the incredibly vibrant, colorful acrylic painting by Audrey Gabrielson. And when you look at her work, you feel that you want to go into it and just enjoy and relish all of her colors and textures, and her figures are dynamic and absolutely engaging. This is flower cedar. And then over here, we have a wonderful acrylic abstract by Jean Hayward, Untitled is her title. And you have a sense of floating in the sky, beautiful, calm, meditative, absolutely gorgeous colors. Our next piece is by Peggy MacDonald, absolutely exquisite watercolor, done in, again, engaging and very peaceful, meditative colors of greens and blues. This is Summer's Optical. That is her title. And as anyone knows who has worked with watercolor, it's one of the most difficult mediums to control. Peggy's mastery of the technique is fantastic. And then over here, we have Catherine Larrake's work. This is oil. And you see a family, a mother and son, fishing on the pier. And you just, again, want to be there and jump right up on that pier and feel the breezes of the afternoon. This is a collage of an article that appeared in the San Francisco Chronicle in 1926. And they featured a group of the artists, or members at that time, and you see them working in their studios. Our group was started in 1887, and here you see the photographs of our charter members.
You know, time prevented me from showing everything in the gallery there, or much of what's in there. You have sculpture, and you have jewelry, and you have ceramics and textiles. But this gives people an idea of what you have. Now, how are those items selected? When an artist wants to have his work shown, what is the process whereby, how is that done?
We have monthly shows for paintings and photography, and every month we accept works, and it's juried and selected by the jury. And every month there is another theme for the art show. So we have 12 shows a year.
Right, and the theme for this show was summer, I think.
That one was summer, and the next one is going to be reflections for July show.
Right. Barbara, you have some. You've had some really interesting members. Could you cite some of these people? Some people have gone on toward fame and celebrity.
Ruth Asawa, who is still in her late 90s, here and active in San Francisco, has some of her works at the De Young Museum. She was a sculptress, and she was quite well known. Also, Emmylou Packard, who was the major assistant with Diego Rivera when he was doing his mural project. And she was a president of San Francisco Women Artists at one time.
So you have some really important, you've had some really important members.
Yes, Imogene Cunningham is another one who was a member of San Francisco Artists at one time, and some of our current members were actually able to work with her and be fellow artists with her.
Right. Okay, I'd like to talk about some of the pieces we have here. Now, this is a rooster. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
And a teapot.
And a teapot. Yeah. If the, you know, we are really precariously perched on this little platform here. We're just inches. Our chairs are inches from the edge, so we could get all this in. But if the camera can focus in on this rooster teapot, can you tell us something about this? This really looks intense and alive.
Yeah, this is a ceramic piece by one of our members, Cornelia Nevitt, and it's a very popular medium that has been in our gallery. She's done a variety of different expressions using these roosters and chickens, and they're quite popular.
Right. Has anyone tried pouring tea out of it? Is that a tongue? Do roosters actually? I guess roosters have tongues.
They do have tongues. Yes.
Yeah,
I think it's.
That's the lid. Yeah.
I don't know if it would actually be able to be used, but it's certainly.
It's nice to look at.
You know, has a great expression about it.
And let's see, Azar, you had some textiles. What did you do with those?
Oh, here we have.
Oh, here they.
We have a couple.
Okay.
These are the scarves
Right.
made by one of our members, and they are very popular as well.
What are they made of?
Silk. These are silk pieces of cloth.
Looks like there's a Japanese influence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we also have, in addition to our monthly shows, we do a crafts selection every other month. And so we have jewelry and scarves and cards, handmade cards of all varieties, and small sculptures as well.
Right. And here we have another sculptural piece. Can one of the cameras get on this? This, tell us a bit about this.
I believe this is a raku piece,
Raku
isn't
piece,
it?
yeah.
Also by Cornelia Nevitt, and this is Man with Sphere. And
Man
it
with
just has this
Sphere.
marvelous movement. I mean, to me, it looks like he's sitting there amongst the waves, and how he can have this calm, contemplative look on his face, I don't know, but it just has a fascinating aspect to it that, makes you think about how something so rigid could have the fluidity about it that it does.
Right. And back here we have another one of Azar's. Maybe camera one can get on that. And this is another one of your birds.
Yeah.
Azar, you are fascinated by birds.
Yeah, I am.
Why?
They symbolize freedom to me. They symbolize out of this world. I mean, and freedom. I just love the feeling of watching them, and the shape of them is also very fascinating.
Now, Azar, as the new president, you have some things you'd like to do. Tell us about these
Sure.
things.
Our goals is, first of all, to have more members, especially younger generation students and talented students that I know we have a lot in Bay Area. I really wish we had more of these kind of students in our gallery, and they have a special discount for the membership as well. This is one of the aims. The other one is to, I'm trying to to promote the gallery and to make it more known by the community.
Right. It's not so well known right now. It could be known a lot better.
Yeah, with such a prestigious past, we should be more known by the community. With 300 members in 1960,
Right.
and having art shows in San Francisco Museum of Art, we need to be more recognized by the community.
Right. And you're focusing a little bit on computer savviness. You just opened up a Facebook account?
Yeah, we just did it 2 weeks ago.
I don't know much about Facebook. Tell me how that works.
This is the future of email. I mean,
Of what?
email is going to be replaced by, I don't know, it's much more common to use Facebook. I see from my, from my daughter that she's using much more of the Facebook rather than email. This is a very, very interesting kind of communication.
Right.
And we opened the Facebook account, so we have the artworks, 3 pieces of each artist in the Facebook page. And we have like fans, and some people just click on the, like. They like the works, and it's great.
How will people know where to go to get onto this Facebook? I'm not
They
familiar
can
with this.
just go on Google and write the name San Francisco Women Artists. You're going to see everything about the organization, the past, and the Facebook as well.
Right, right. Now, you're having a new show coming up on Thursday.
Yes.
That's when the open house is.
Yes, we have a members' reception for the artists that are in each monthly show, one Thursday every month, and that's from 5:30 to 7:30 at our gallery on Sacramento Street. And we always serve refreshments, and the community is welcome to come and meet the artists and view the artwork at that time.
Right. And it's called Reflections.
Yes.
Right. Okay, I don't know how to put this, but this is a Tuesday, in the evening.
Yes.
And
I think so.
this show is on a Thursday in the evening, and yet I'm about to include a roll-in of what has not yet happened. Oh. I find that really fascinating. I've never done anything like this before. I'm going to go there in 2 days, and in 2 days I'll edit it in. And so with that weird, almost Twilight Zone comment, could we see a cutaway of what I'm about to do?
Good evening. My name is Jess Cepeda, and I am considered a baby boomer and one of two men with this women's organization, and it gives me a great opportunity to show my artwork, and these women are just wonderful.
This lady is Stephanie Stenberg. She's been a member for 50 years, and she knows much better than everyone about the history of this beautiful organization.
I was a member when we were meeting at the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art on McAllister and Van Ness. We didn't have a gallery then, and we had 300 members at the time, and shows in different museums, in San Francisco Museum, and photography in the De Young Museum, and in Berkeley, different venues. And I was president from 1975 to 77. Then later on we had our own gallery on Hay Street, and we've been here ever since.
I'm Catherine Moreno, and the name of this painting is Clouds, and it's a wet, rainy beach up in Oregon, in Rockaway, Oregon, which is far north.
Well, I'm having a good time. I'm Jenny Wasser, and I'm a sculptor here at the gallery, and I did both pieces. Been a figurative sculptor for about 45 years and a member here for about 4. And I'm also a painter. This piece is called Homage to Cezanne, and it was a painting I did au plein air and in a wild moment quite a few years ago.
My name's Catherine Coleman, and I'm a jewelry artist here in the gallery, and this is a piece I made myself. These are also some of my pieces here on display. These two right here.
The last and final time. I'm Audrey Gabrielson, and I usually enter paintings because I'm a very prolific painter, and I joined this gallery several years ago, but I've been painting and showing in San Francisco for innumerable years. I shot this with my Nikon camera. I forgot how I did it, that's how long ago I shot it. But there was a way where I could press the something, and then keep shooting on the same frame. And I was looking at some of my old photographs, and I thought, this is pretty wild. So I entered it, and I'm glad I did.
My name is Jennifer Mack, and I've been here for about almost 20 years. Not at this location, we were over at Hay Street before that. I've been making these woven bracelets for about 5 years now. You take thread and you put one bead on at a time. They're little metal beads. They are about 1 millimeter by 0.5 millimeter in size. And I also do ring work, which is this chrysoprase here.
My name's Trish Foshi. I've been a member since last September. Two of my photographs are in the show. The one at the top I took in Udaipur, India, and it's the postcard illustration this month. The other one I took in the Cotswolds in England in a little dusty silversmith studio, and it is one of the Merit Awards this month. I've been doing photography for over 30 years, and I've been doing printmaking for about 2.5. And so I also do photo etchings and a few other types of things during the printmaking category.
We're having a great time. Great time. Bye.
Well, I have no idea what those people from the future had to say about us.
We hope they were kind.
Yeah. Reflections. It's even an interesting title for something coming in from the future.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, Barbara, you have some collaborations with others. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Once a year, we connect with another arts organization or artist group in the city, such as the Jewish Community Center Children's Sculpture Group, and we do a joint show at our gallery. So we like to have an opportunity to reach out to other arts groups that may not have the opportunity to exhibit like we do, and share our gallery space, and also, do some mentoring at the same time. We've done that with Mercy High School, where we had a show in their space, and also at the Unitarian Church, and we recently had a show at the Thoreau Gallery in the Presidio.
And Azar, you've been telling me about an auction that's coming up?
We're going to have an auction for fundraising in November. This is one of our goals to raise, funds for the gallery.
And where will the auction be?
It's not decided yet. We're going to discuss it in the next meeting, I guess. We are still discussing this.
Okay, and one last piece that we have here that I find interesting. I don't know if maybe camera one can get it. It's this piece here. And what is this, acrylic?
This is plexiglass.
Plexiglass?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's got, what is that in it? It's cords? It looks like a spider web almost.
Yeah, it looks like some kind of wire. I'm not familiar with the exact technique, but Judy Hummel, who is one of our sculptors, does some really fascinating and unique work. And this is the type of thing that keeps our monthly exhibits interesting, because you just never quite know what techniques our women artists will come up with, and our men as well.
Yeah. Barbara, when you think of the past of more than 100 years ago, and how your organization has been a continuous lineage from that time, how does that feel?
It really makes us very proud, because this is something that has been going on for so many years, and it's gone through its ups and downs, and we're very proud to say that because of some very generous bequests that we received about 6 years ago, we were able to actually purchase our gallery space.
Oh, really?
So we're no longer dependent upon the fluctuations in the rental community. So we're very proud of that fact, and that's one of the reasons that we have the goals we have to be able to sustain this for the next 100 years.
Azar, we're about ready to wrap up, and so I think you have some wonderful plans for the future that I think will materialize, and I think it's really heartening that you have this wonderful lineage that you can look back on, and it's kind of flowering in our very own time. So I'd like to thank you for being here and talking about San Francisco
Thank you very
women
much.
artists.
We appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.